So we're approaching the end of the first day, but I want to first of all give you a preview of tomorrow, which is going to be incredible. And we have a poll. So we want to know how you're feeling after the first day. So overwhelmed, right? I actually realized we're doing well. Grateful for learning. Yes, let's do this. Or aware we need to make some adaptations in our strategy. So how are people feeling? All right. Okay. Terrific. Well, we don't want you to feel overwhelmed, so we'd love to, and we'll talk about how we can be supportive, because we want to have that opportunity to be a resource. The team at the center, the team at UNICEF, want to help you as you take this journey. It is so rewarding and so worth it. So, and we're just happy that the information is being well received, and hopefully we haven't made it painful with a few Jamboard sessions and a couple of polls, which are always fun, and just the interaction. So that's terrific. So going into our wrap up, I wanted to just relay some key messages from today. So just key messages: children are at a much greater risk in comparison to adults in the context of a mega sporting event. We've heard a lot about that today. There are risks, and therefore we have to figure out how to prevent or mitigate them. And that is not only from the stage you're in now, but as the event matures into, advanced preparation and delivery, is it'll change. And how do you change and continue to incorporate not only prevention of risk to kids, but also their voice into each step? In order to fully protect child rights, it needs to go beyond compliance and making this a box ticking exercise. But I think you can see from the Boulder presentation what's possible. What's possible if you really bring it to life. And that's why we were asking you to, before, as you were hearing what they'd done in Boulder, thinking about what that could look like for you in your city. How could you do something through the lens of the personality and the culture of wherever municipality you represent? Commitments must be transformed into practical action. So, and we need to learn from past mega sporting events. And we heard some, not so great details at the beginning of today's discussion around the bad things that have happened. And so, translating that through the lens of our three countries, what could that look like in terms of risks? And we got some really good and practical advice from those who had to do the same work in London 2012. Children must be involved in a meaningful way in the planning and decision-making process. And we just heard about that. This is not just the right thing to do, but extremely beneficial. And I think we saw some pretty vivid examples of what's possible. And I love the treehouse example, but others, when you bring kids into the conversation, this idea of nothing about me without me definitely applies. So before we close, we wanted to just give one opportunity again for any questions anyone has about anything they've heard today or in general before we go into a preview of tomorrow. Okay. And Anthony, you asked about children with disabilities. I missed that question on the last round, but Mara, perhaps you could answer in the chat box, if you can, about how you capture the needs of children with disabilities in your work in Boulder. That'd be super. I want to make sure we capture that. So home stretch tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be amazing. So tomorrow we'll be looking at the power of sport to address human rights with the great Richard Lapchick. Dr. Lapchick, founder and director of the Institute for Diversity and Ethics in Sport. And in the era of athlete activism and Black Lives Matter, you couldn't ask for a single better person to be talking about community voice and diversity and ethics than Dr. Lapchick. There are many others, but he's fantastic. Then we'll talk about safeguarding, do a deeper dive into what it is and what we need to know about it, but with a particular focus through the lens of being a host city of a mega sporting event. And then finally, we're going to talk about legacy, or as I call it, opportunity. So legacy can be good and bad, right? We saw some negative legacy examples at the very beginning of this morning, but certainly there are opportunities for incredibly powerful and compelling legacies moving forward that can be realized even before 2026 rolls around. So what could that look like? So please come back. And if for any reason your agenda doesn't allow for your participation, think of someone on your team that could benefit from the discussion and share the knowledge with others later. Thank you so much for being here today and for giving us your generous participation. We know everyone's very busy, and so we're grateful for your time today. Thank you to all the speakers and their valuable contributions to us to imagine a truly child-friendly 2026 FIFA World Cup. See you all tomorrow. Thank you, everyone.